This is John Oakes here with HANKSTERS Hot Rods, coming to you from our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. And yes, today we have another addition to our inventory here, and this being another Ford for us. This is a 1965 Ford Mustang GT 2+2 Fastback here. So this car here may be a little hard to see in the photos and videos possibly, but we have a dark green metallic exterior here on this car. When you see it out in the sunlight, it's a lot different. I believe if you look through our photos, you may see a picture of it out in the sunlight so you can see exactly just what color this car is. In combination with that, on top of the hood here, we do have the black hood decal here, and then of course our hood scoop sits on top of that there, and that's in green as well. Now at first glance, this car, yes, it was done kind of as a tribute to the Steve McQueen movie Bullitt. That's the car, or a car that resembled this, was used in that movie during some of the chase scenes and so forth, from what I understand. So there you have it. It was built to kind of resemble that car. So our Mustang here, we've got the 289 front fender emblems on it here, which signifies what is underneath the hood on this car. Now, as you can see, as far as the wheels and the tires on this car, we've got a real nice choice here. They went with American Racing torque thrust wheels with the magnesium painted centers. These are an aluminum wheel, and they are 15-inch. We've got brand new Mastercraft Avenger GT tires on here. Up front, we've got two 1565 R15s, and on the back, we've got two 3560 R15s. Again, all brand new there. So what we always do, we always look down the side of the car. We want to see how straight everything is. Each panel, we want to see the alignment of those panels too. So looking down the side, our sides are very straight the whole way down. Elevations are dead on too. As far as our fender to door and door to quarter panel alignment, we're right on with this car. As we walk back, we're going to take a look at our door gaps here also, on the front side of the door and back here on the back of the door. And these are virtually the same front and back. So this car, as far as the fit and finish, everything's been done really, really nice on this car. Now, we don't have wheelet moldings on this car. They went ahead and left those off to give it that nice smooth look. Now we do have the bright drip rail moldings here though on the car, and those are in really good shape. They're not dented, they're nice and straight. And the other thing I always do is look up through the rain gutter here to see how the paint looks, to see if there's any cracks or anything in the clear or in the paint whatsoever. And on this car, I do not see any of that. So again, that's in good shape here, the rain gutters. We see we've got the mirror up here. Now this is not a remote mount mirror, but the chrome finish on it is in excellent condition. That looks good. All of our trim around our vent windows, all of our moldings around our windshield, those are all in great shape too. Polished up really nice, no dents or dings in them, they look good. As we come back to the door here, we're going to go ahead and open our door up. And again, just to kind of show that that dark green metallic that's on the outside of a car, it follows its way to the inside here also. We've got the rubber bump stops both on the top and the bottom. And you can see we've got the door tag here that's got your codes on it. When we look quickly inside here, because again we'll always go back inside and take a more in-depth look here, we can see it's an all black interior, bucket seats, center console car, original dash and gauges. So again, it's a real nice car. All of the upholstery and everything is in great shape too. We close our door up, everything closes up nice and easy. Our weather stripping and seals, even up along the top here, are in great shape and run. There's no tears in them, there's no chunks taken out of them. They're all nice, soft, supple. When you roll that window up, it's going to seal up really, really nice. The roof of our car, the paint, everything, it's nice, smooth, and shiny the whole way around on this car. You can see we've got those vents here in our fastback roof. And then that brings us back to our quarter panel, which again, all of our body panels are nice and straight. All the lines match up, everything. So again, that looks good. Okay, now that we're around the backside of our 65 Mustang GT 2+2 Fastback, we're going to take a look at all the things that we normally do. We're going to go up here to our rear glass. We'll look at our molding and trim around the whole window. All of that trim is in very nice shape. Again, polished up, not dented or dinged up whatsoever. Glass in this car looks to be like it was probably all the original stuff. As for the most part, it looks all great. You do have one small section here where it looks like they may have got into it with a buffer, but again, everything else looks great. There's no chips, there's no cracks that I can see in any of the glass. It is a tinted rear glass too as well. Now as far as our panels go, you see that paint too, nice and smooth back here. Panel fitment is good. Our trunk lid, our gaps the whole way around here fits really, really good. Our elevations with our quarter panels are really good on this car too. As far as the tail panel goes, you can see where this car was modeled after the movie car for Bullitt. So they've got the Bullitt badging back here. You've got that nice chrome gas cap as most of the Mustangs had right here. Your tail lights, the lenses, and your bright work around it. There's bezels here for your tail lights. Those are all in great shape. The bezels are polished up, they're not pitted. The lenses look to be in great shape. There's no chips in any of those on either side. Your rear bumper, very highly polished up there. Looks like a mirror. And then down below we have our rear lower valance. And on our rear valance here, you have your backup lights on both sides. The bezels on those are good. There's no pitting in those bezels. The lenses are in great shape too. And then our exhaust actually pokes through this valance. So again, this is how it should have been. You've got these nice slash cut chrome exhaust tips here that poke through to finish off that exhaust work from underneath. So that's everything on the outside. So let's take a look inside. Pop our trunk open, and first thing you can see is the underside of the trunk painted the same as the exterior of the car. So that's been finished off well. Hinges also. Now the springs for the hinges, those are working great too. So you can see it holds that trunk up just real nice. Trunk seals and weather strip here, you can see that. That looks to be all pretty new here. It meets right in the center here, so that's going to seal up real nice, keep any of that wetness from entering into the trunk. Now as far as the trunk goes, we've got a real nice trunk mat here. And again, with all Mustangs, the fuel tank would actually mount in from the top side here. So your tank takes up a majority of your floor, and the tank in this car is like brand new in it. So again, you'll see that when we get to the underside video on how nice that trunk lid is. So this has a flip down, fold down rear seat in it too. So you'll be able to flip that seat down, and if you need more room for cargo back here, you're going to have that also. So we'll close this up. And all right, now on our passenger side, just a little more of the same that we've already been over. So standing back at the back of the car here, and I'm going to lay my eye on the side of this car here the whole way up to the tip of that front fender. And I'm going to tell you that this side, just as straight as the other side. Door and fenders and quarter panels all line up just about perfect on this car. It looks good the whole way down the side. All your body lines all in line with everything else. So again, good panel fitment on this car. As we come forward, again, we can see our paint on these sail panels, even up over the sides of the roof here. Looks great. The whole roof looks great, as a matter of fact. All of our little vents here back here at our Fastback, those are all in great shape, all intact, nothing broken out of those on either side. As we get to our door here, we're going to look at our gap, back side as well as front side. Once again, this thing is darn near perfect as far as those gaps go. So again, they've adjusted the doors, the quarters, the fenders on this car very, very well. Let's go ahead and open this side up also. Again, rubber bump stops on the top and the bottom on this car. The green comes to the interior too. All black vinyl interior, full length door panels. All of our weather stripping here and seals around the door, all in great shape. Even our bright drip rail molding here, that's nice and straight and polished up. And then our rain gutters, again, I checked the paint in there and everything looks good on those as well. So we'll close this up. Door shuts nice and easy. Even the door handles are in pretty good shape on this car too. Don't see any scratches or anything on those. As we come forward, we'll look at our vent windows here. The trim on those looks fairly well. Again, just a little wee teeny tiny bit of pitting there on those. But again, a lot of this stuff could be some of the older trim on it, which again, it's nice and straight too. So that, you know, speaks for itself on this car. And again, our moldings around that windshield, those are in great shape. Windshield itself is in really good condition too. This one here, we don't see any chips or cracks in that windshield either. Again, we have the fender mounted antenna here. It is not a power antenna, just kind of a manual one that you can raise up if you'd like. So you have that. Our fenders, again, body panels are nice and super straight on this car. We've already discussed the 15-inch wheels, the Mastercraft Avenger tires that are brand new on this car, and also the 289 fender emblem to match up with the other side. All right, and finally now we've gotten to the front end or the business end of our 65 Ford Mustang GT 2+2 Fastback. There's a mouthful. So anyways, we've got our front end, just a traditional looking Mustang front end, GT. That's the grille that you have in here with those fog lights. And they went with a little different look on this car. They went with the amber lenses. I think it looks pretty cool myself there. Just like I said, get rid of those clear lenses, give it a little bit of character up front here. So again, that all looks great. Our headlights, just your sealed beam units, your high and low beams all in one unit there. The glass lenses on those are in great shape. There's no chips or cracks in those. Your moldings that go around there that make part of that front end, that nose there, those are all in great shape and painted up the same as the car. All of your bright work, your little trim here around it, grill and along the front edge of your hood, that looks great too. Of course, you got that Mustang logo there right in the center. Nicely chromed front bumper there as well. And then down below you have your front lower valance, of which your parking lights and turn signals are housed there. Those are amber lenses there. They are in great shape, no chips or cracks. And the bezels, the bright work around those are in good shape too. There's no pitting on any of those. Now as far as our hood goes, this is a steel hood here. We've got that black hood decal here that pretty much covers the whole hood. And then of course you've got your hood scoop here right in the center. What we're going to do right now is right after we check our gaps here, gaps on the sides of this are very uniform, same front or side to side. The gap across the back, I saw that looks good as well. And then everything across the front here too with your headlight eyebrows and so forth on both sides, they actually line up very well for one of these Ford Mustangs. So what we're going to do now, let's go ahead and open our hood. And here we go. We've got our hood open. We've got that green exterior on the underside of the hood as well. That hood scoop itself is all bolted in, so it's not going anywhere. All of your bracing and so forth is there too. Now, underneath our hood, we have the original 289 4-barrel engine that this car would have come with, or did come with, I should say. So again, you are able to check all that stuff out. You can go in, the engine casting numbers, those are on the block. The date codes are on the block also. Unfortunately, you never had a partial VIN number on these cars until 1968. So you have to go off of the date codes and make sure everything lines up with the engine and when the car was built. And that's what we do in these instances. So 289 4-barrel motor, original to this car. You've got the chrome air cleaner on top. You've got chrome valve covers also with breather and PCV valve in those. As far as what's underneath the air cleaner, we've got the 4-barrel carburetor, Holley dual feed, and this is a 600 CFM carburetor. The numbers are stamped on it, so you're able to check that out as well. Aluminum intake there also. And then as far as the ignition system, they've retained the stock style distributor and coil. We've got a set of 7mm plug wires in here too to help deliver that spark. For exhaust, we have just the stock cast exhaust manifolds, dual exhaust the whole way underneath this car, complete with crossover pipe, Dynamax turbo style mufflers, and of course tailpipes with the exhaust tips out through the lower valance in the rear of the car there. This is a power steering car. We do have manual brakes though on this particular car. They were disc up front and drums on the back. And then we have just your stock style radiator here, a 5-blade flex fan here to help cool that engine. But again, the 289s never really had a problem with cooling. They ran pretty good as it was. So you really don't need a whole lot there for a fan, but this one has a real good 5-blade flex fan. So yeah, like I said, original motor for the car, 4-barrel. We also have behind that motor, we've got a C4 automatic transmission, and then we have the 8-inch rear with the 3.00 gear ratio back there as well. All of which, those codes, you can find those on the door tag. We even have the butt tag here underneath the hood that has those codes too. So you're going to be able to double check and triple check things on this car once you have the VIN, the door tag, and that butt tag. Everything coincides with one another, so you know everything matches up. So that's pretty much it. Alright, here we are now inside of our 65 Ford Mustang GT 2+2 Fastback. And starting out at the doors, you can see this is a full black vinyl interior here. Full-length door panels, which look great, by the way. All of your bright work and trim around those are in great shape. Armrests themselves are even in great shape. You will not see any cracks from wear and tear on those at all. They look great. All of your handles, the door handle, the window crank there also, those look great as well. Come inside the car a little further, and you can see that we have the factory dash in this car. It is a padded dash. The dash pad itself is in great shape. There's no cracks, no tears or anything in that. And as far as the gauge panel is factory. We got the factory gauges in here too. We've got the fuel gauge and the oil pressure gauge to the left of the steering column. Right in the middle, we've got a 140-mile-an-hour speedometer. And then to the right of the steering column, we've got your amps gauge and your water temperature gauge. So those are all your factory instrumentation. Steering column and your steering wheel here. We've got the wood grain steering wheel, a very nice looking wheel. So again, that's in great shape. You'll see right in the center there, though, you have the Cobra horn button there too. So again, it kind of goes, you know, hand in hand with the Mustang stuff. A little further in here, you can see that we do have the factory heater controls still in here. And as far as a radio, looks like they have updated, but they haven't modified the dash in this car at all. Looks like this radio fit right in the stock location. It is a JVC AM/FM cassette player, so you'll be able to listen to your radio there while you're, you know, cruising around in a car like this. Got the factory automatic center console in here with your floor shifter here too. Again, all factory, looks good here for the age of the car. Our seats, we've got front buckets. These are black vinyl. You can see the seat covers are in excellent condition here. As we look to the back, matching seat covers in the back. Again, that is a fold down rear seat, so you can make yourself a little more room back there for any cargo you need to put in the trunk. Headliner is in great shape also. It's pulled tight. There's no holes in this headliner. It looks great. If we look back here at our, I guess you would call them your sail panels back here, or where the vents are in your fastback roof, those are in excellent shape too on both sides. And those vents are operational. There is a lever on here, both sides, that you can open those vents out to help let air flow through into the interior of the car. As far as everything else goes, our carpet, black carpeting, it's in great shape. I don't see any fading or any tears to speak of in the carpeting. As far as seat belts, I don't think that I see any seat belts in this car. Again, not a big problem. You can always add seat belts if you want, but a lot of times these cars were ordered without the seat belts, so you didn't have them whenever they came from the factory. So being that they are not in here, it's not a surprise here. So again, looks like all of our little dome lights here, the little lights in the back, like side panels back here for your interior, those are all working. We do not have a dome light in this car. I don't know if one would have been in here, but there is not one in here. But all of the rest of your interior lighting is working. You do have also the fog lights up front that you saw on the grille. They are functional, they do work. There is a button, or a switch I should say, underneath the dash to the left of the steering column that activates those and turns them on. So everything works there. So that is it pretty much for the interior of our Mustang. All right, we're back here now on our lift. We've got the 65 Ford Mustang GT 2+2 Fastback up on our lift now. So as you guessed it, it's time to go through the underside of the car now, show you exactly what we have underneath here. So starting up here at the front, suspension on the car, we've got the stock strut rod front suspension on this car. Yes, strut rod, so it's going to make adjusting, you know, your caster real simple over here with those strut rods. The bushings on those are in excellent condition. They're not squashed, they're not cracked, they look to be in real good shape. We also have a front sway bar here, and your sway bar bushings for your frame mounts are in great shape, as well as your sway bar end links. All of those bushings and hardware all look to be in really good shape as far as the front suspension goes. Other than that, we've got stock control arms on both the lower side and on the top side of our Ford Mustang. So that's everything suspension on the front. As far as steering goes, you can see we've got the lines hanging down here. These are power steering lines, so you've got power rack and pinion on the front here. So again, you're going to have real easy steering in this car. It's going to drive and handle nice for you, especially with the front sway bar and everything there. And then as far as braking goes up front, we do have disc brakes. I believe this is a manual brake car. We've got discs on the front. We've got drums out back on our Mustang here that we have. Now, while I'm up here, I might as well talk about the drive line while I'm looking at it here. So as far as the engine goes, we've got the original 289 motor that's in this car. This is the 4-barrel model, not hypo, but it is the 289 4-barrel engine there, original. We've got the C4 automatic transmission. That does have your cover on the front of the, to protect your flywheel. So again, it does have an area for inspection purposes there, but you do have that cover there that helps protect that flywheel. As we come back here just a little further, a couple things. Exhaust we got hanging here. We've got, coming from this stock cast exhaust manifolds, dual exhaust. You've got your crossover pipe right here, and then of course those come back into a dual set of Dynamax mufflers. These are probably a turbo style muffler, and then of course you've got your tailpipes that go up over top of the rear end, and then they exit out that rear lower valance with a nice chrome exhaust tip back there. Working back up to the front, as far as our frame goes, you can see our frame's good and straight both sides here. The floor pans themselves, these look to be in great shape. You can see these are the stock stamped floor pans. All the lines are there for your castings, or your stampings I should say, on both sides here, both front and rear pans. So all of that looks good. Back here, as far as your frame sections back here up over top of the rear end, those look to be in really good condition too. Nice and straight, good and square the whole way back to the rear of the car. Of course, as far as rear suspension, we've got multi-leaf rear suspension. They have gone ahead and put new rear shocks on the back end of this car, so you can see those right there. Now, to finish out the drive line, not only do you have your drive shaft here, and that is, I'm just trying to check, yeah, that's a balanced drive shaft, so that should keep a lot of vibration and so forth out of the drive line on this car. And then rear end, we've got an 8-inch Ford rear end here. Now they call it a locking rear end, but it's more so limited slip for what it is. Then a gear, according to the door tag on this car, is a 3.00 gear ratio on this car. So that's what you have as far as rear end, the whole entire drive line. So we've gone ahead and checked the floors. Also on the floors, all of your drain holes and so forth, they've got the plugs in them, as they should. So you see all those plugs are intact on the floors. As far as other stuff, wheels and tires on this car. They have gone ahead, they've upgraded, they've put in a set of American Racing torque thrust wheels. Now these are the wheels, they're aluminum, and they have the painted, like the magnesium centers on them. So again, it's a real nice look for this particular car. And brand new tires on this car too. These are Mastercraft Avenger GTs, and we have 215/65 R15s up front, 235/60 R15s on the back. So it gives our car a real nice stance as far as that goes. Rubber again, like I said, all brand new. Back here now again, one more time at the rear of the car, drum brakes. We have the emergency brake. It is all hooked up, so all your cables are present, all the correct hooks and frame mounts, those are all present, all of your lines all the way back to the rear drums on this vehicle. And then our fuel tank. The fuel tanks on these cars, they mount from the top side of the trunk. They just kind of drop down in. So you won't have any straps or anything that hold it in down here. You've got all your hardware up above, but again, all of that's in great shape. The trunk is in great shape. The floor, from what there is, that's all in great shape. This tank looks like it's fairly new. Your wiring and your sending unit and all your fuel line and everything, that looks good also on this car. So that's pretty much it underneath of our '65 Ford Mustang Fastback.